Hello friends, and welcome back to another theory video where today we will be discussing the role of ANNATAR in the Amazon The Lord of the Rings of Power Season 2. We will be covering all possible ways Amazon could implement this character, story and plotline in Season 2, so make sure to like and subscribe, but without further ado, let's get right into it. Firstly, let's recap what happened in Season 1 in regards to the ANNATAR and Sauron/Halbrand storyline. Well, we know Sauron spent most of his story with Galadriel in the form of Halbrand. We know that he is a form of Sauron who ends up helping Celebrimbor with making the rings, so everyone in Middle-earth knows of Halbrand, but only Elrond and Galadriel know of Halbrand as Sauron, not Celebrimbor. Finally, we now know that Halbrand has arrived in Mordor, and that's where it ends. Now, here is the quick background of ANNATAR, the Lord of Gifts. According to the backstory presented in the Silmarillion, ANNATAR was a powerful Maya, one of the angelic beings who served the godlike valor in the creation of the world. He was known for his skill in crafting and his ability to inspire others with his ideas and designs. In the Second Age of Middle-earth, he appeared to the Elfsmiths of Eregion, offering them his aid, and in the creation of the Rings of Power. Under ANNATAR's guidance, the Elfsmiths created the Rings of Power, including the 3 rings, which were intended to help the elves preserve their power and beauty in a changing world. However, ANNATAR had a secret agenda. He was actually the Dark Lord Sauron in disguise, and he had secretly forged the One Ring, which would allow him to take control of the other rings and dominate all of Middle-earth. ANNATAR's true identity was eventually revealed, and the Elfsmiths of Eregion went to war against him. They were ultimately defeated, and the 3 rings were given to the elves to preserve their power. Of course, the human and dwarven rings were also created during ANNATAR's tenure. Also, during the recent LA event where the cast and crew were interviewed, this was interestingly mentioned. Additional rings will also be forged when the show returns, but which characters will score new bling is as yet unknown. Quote, "There are more rings. The show is called The Rings of Power. Maybe I'll get a new necklace, who knows?" Cheeky Peter Mullen, who portrays King Durin III in the series, teased. So, now let's get on to theories. So the first one, in my opinion the worst one, is the Charlie Vickers clean shaved as ANNATAR theory, effectively the Clark Kent Superman type idea. So we have Charlie Vickers as Halbrand, still returning to Eregion with not much change in his appearance as he continues his relationship with Celebrimbor, and just have to hope, or due to plot convenience, Galadriel and Elrond won't spot him. I think for that specific region mentioned above, you can see why this wouldn't be the best scenario, as others already know about his appearance and him being Sauron. So, the second theory is that Halbrand goes to Mordor and switches form, and then goes to Eregion in his new form, and we see him change form on screen. That's important, that the viewers see Halbrand switch to a different form of Sauron, which is his ANNATAR form. He could sneakily even meet Galadriel again, and she would not even notice him, alongside going back to Eregion and being ANNATAR, the Lord of Gifts. The new viewers will know that ANNATAR is Sauron, and none of the characters or Celebrimbor would know, and that might be an interesting dynamic for the viewers. Seeing Celebrimbor getting fooled, and we can see all the little hints and clues, just like in Season 1, where if you rewatch it from the start and already knowing Halbrand was Sauron, already then you can see all the little details, like at the furnace here or this conversation in the jail cell. This will have his reveal of eventually being Sauron be even better, as maybe the reveal scene could be the ANNATAR actor changing faces back to Halbrand and it being one massive surprise. So the third theory is similar to the previous one, except the fact that the audience doesn't see that Halbrand changes form into ANNATAR in Mordor, and when we see this new character go up to Celebrimbor and Eregion, the audience and viewers will not know this is Sauron, and even the lore fans who know this happens will be second guessing themselves, as we would think Halbrand and Celebrimbor creating the rings in Season 1 was the final of the creation of the rings involving Sauron. This also makes the big twist and moment of ANNATAR being Sauron not only impactful on the characters but also on the viewers too, and as Tolkien fans, this ANNATAR betrayal is one of the things we really wanted to see and didn't get to really in season 1, so that would be a plus finally seeing it, and similar for normal viewers who didn't anticipate to be fooled twice now. Now onto the actual creation of the rest of the rings of power, such as the dwarven and human rings. Of course, for the 9 to become ring wraiths, these rings will need the taint of Sauron / ANNATAR, so ANNATAR has to be involved in the creation of them. Also, in regards to where these human rings or these rings of men may end up, we know potentially one could go to Kumul, the Easterling King, so maybe in a future season this will lead up to ANNATAR or Sauron going east to Rhûn, or in fact we know that some of the Númenóreans, 3 of them apparently end up getting rings of power, so when maybe ANNATAR gets captured at the end of the Battle of the Gwathlo, then maybe ANNATAR gets captured, goes to Númenor and slowly starts to corrupt and give out rings to the rest of the Númenóreans that end up becoming the Ringwraith and potentially even the Witch King himself. Of course, all this means that Celebrimbor needs to get forward again and ANNATAR gaining his trust. So we're basically going to see a mirroring of what happened between Halbrand and Celebrimbor in season 1. So in the lore, ANNATAR announces and proclaims himself as an emissary of the Valar, and this is how he initially gains trust and confidence, so it'll be interesting to see whether the name ANNATAR will even be used. If not, then we'll probably still have to compromise with the ANNATAR idea and character being there, but technically him not being called ANNATAR. But I doubt this is, as the Tolkien estate and Amazon are buddies and they will probably let it slide, and I have known of instances where they have let Amazon use certain stories or geographies or even general things that isn't in the rights they have licensed. Next up, we have to decide, will ANNATAR personally give the dwarves their rings of power? For the human kings it doesn't make sense, because what other ways can the rings be sent to them, but the dwarves one will be interesting, and whether we see ANNATAR step foot into Khazad-dûm. Of course, with ANNATAR, we need to see the moment he creates the One Ring and fully declares himself as Sauron, as in the lore once that happens, then that's when Middle-earth knew that they had been deceived. That is the final point. It will be interesting to see which form of Sauron will do that, or even if he will be in his armor just like he was in the Peter Jackson film prologue. So, what problems do Amazon currently have around ANNATAR? Well, the whole first season was who is Sauron, and if in season 2 no one knows who ANNATAR is, then we might just be seeing the same who is Sauron Farad again, just like in season 1, which could be a bit tedious, and of course the mystery box surprises which was prevalent in season 1. Or it could be the reverse of that, and we finally get to see the engaging mystery with ANNATAR that we've all been waiting for since the beginning. As to actors who could play ANNATAR, we now have a limited number of actors who could fill the role after recent leaks and character revelations. So the current possibilities is Gabby Chera, Ben Daniels, Yazen Atur, etc. So any of them could easily fill in for the role of ANNATAR, the Lord of Gifts. Well, that is all we have time for in today's video. Hope that you guys enjoyed. Let us know your theories in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. But until the next video, my friends, goodbye.